My name is Sifu David Ross, and I'd like to welcome you to the new martial revolution and the Lion's Roar martial arts system. On here you're going to find weekly lessons introducing you to the method. We're going to start off with some basic technique and keep building on it, building on it, building on it. You'll have eventually an entire curriculum on here. And later on, what we'll do is we'll be offering seminars if you want to train this in person. And at those seminars, there'll also be certifications. So if you want to get certification and ranking through this. Okay, so, increasingly, like I said, I keep reintroducing more traditional stuff back into the program. But I become more and more convinced that the only way you'll ever get anybody to do traditional techniques is to start them off with basic stuff, gloves on, and getting used to getting hit. In other words, if you try to do advanced stuff from the first time and it's like jab and you're going like, oh, I've never seen this shit before. No. You first learn to if nothing more, right? He goes, jab, oh, I'm just getting used to seeing punches coming at me. And getting used to what real range is. I'm not blocking a jab that's there. I'm blocking a jab or a cross or whatever it is that's really going to hit me. Then I can start doing, right? Or again, it's to give me the courage too, because to make the traditional techniques work, I have to at least stand my ground, if not move forward, right? Run them down, that Chinese character I talk about. Right? Throw a jab in. Okay, good. He hit me, right? I was hoping he wouldn't hit me too hard, but just don't do this. We're wearing gloves. Another reason I like gloves is that you feel like more comfortable. It's human nature. Everybody tells you to train hard without gloves. They're lying. Don't hear what they said, they're lying. You don't go like up to your friend and go, whoa. Just don't do it. I was very light. That was very light. There's no way to listen, but that was very light. But in other words, I can't do 1,000 reps of that and not end up bloodying his lip. It's not going to happen. And you know what you need to get good? At least 1,000 reps. Right? The Chinese saying is 10,000. There you go.
It's the beginning of
right? If you're not training with gloves, if you're not training with a mouthpiece, if you're not training with protective equipment, the chances of you consistently training to develop these skills, you're doing the fucking yard all the time, right? So that's cool. Like I said, it's getting used to getting hit. Hit me and getting used to getting hit. Right? If you have consistent injuries all the time, that's not a way to live a modern life. The second thing also is that if I break my fingers in every class, how many classes am I going to attend? We wear gloves and shin guards and when we spar headgear and mouthpieces. So we can go hard, we can go live, and we can still get up and then come back and do it the next day, right? You do jiu-jitsu, right? If I broke your arm every time we did arm bar, how much jiu-jitsu would we do?
That was the last class.
Right? What we can do though is we can roll around and every time I get you in a submission, what do? Tap. You tap, right? And then what happens? We get up and we do it again. Start all over again. It's the same concept. The second thing is you're going to make mistakes. If you never make mistakes, you're not drilling right. And you're not learning what a fight is like. Because what's going to happen as a fight is you're going to make a mistake. And if you freeze in that mistake, you're done. That's it. That's why a lot of fights are over like that. In the street, right? Two guys are talking, one guy decides to punch, and if the other guy doesn't respond, the other guy just keeps punching and it's over. I think I talked about this yesterday when I said that, when we were doing the pad work and we were doing the shielding, I said shield as opposed to just sort of covering up, that you want active blocking as opposed to passive blocking, just sort of going, oh, I don't want to get hit, I'm scared, I'm just going to hide, because it doesn't put you in a position to answer. In other words, when you go 1, 2, you're back here, you can fire your punches back. Same thing when you're parrying, 1, 2, you're in a position to then fire more stuff back. Whereas if you just sort of shield up, it doesn't really work. So I prefer, as in for the beginners, to get you used to pretty quickly doing this parry thing. Because you can see, it leaves me in a position to answer. I'm being active. Did I make my point? You see some people shield or wall or helmet, those are all names for the same thing, which is when they do this, right? But I actually don't teach it to the beginners for a very simple reason. To do the shield, the wall, or the helmet, it's an aggression thing. In other words, go slow so they can see it. He's gonna go jab cross. He's gonna do jab cross. Did everybody see what I did?
Forward.
I step forward. For me to use the shield, the idea is this. It's a very aggressive thing. I'm going to review some of the boxing stuff, and I'm going to do a little bit more. Left side forward, light on the feet. Gloves always up in front of your face. Chin down doesn't mean head forward. My chin is down, but my back is still straight. Head, shoulders, hips perpendicular to the floor. Okay, remember when we do drills, you gotta throw punches that are at the neck. So he goes jab, cross, hook. Okay? Notice this basic idea, which is that every time we punch, we come back. Every time we punch, we come back. You punch, you come back. Punch, you come back. In Chinese, the term lin wan means continuousness. But the defense part is what a lot of people forget about. If your hands are extended, you're creating that leap. If your hands are extended, you know, everybody has that expression in English, you overextended yourself. It's exactly the same concept. You gotta have your hands back to defend. Now on the outside, it's easy to understand. If I throw cross and I leave it out there, and he throws left hook, he's gonna, you know, throw the cross, anything. I'm leaving myself open. I want to throw that punch and bring it back so that, you know, whatever he throws, I'm ready to block. As fast as it goes out, it comes back. So I jab, come back, cross, come back, hook, come back, overhand, come back. Hook the body, come back, uppercut, come back. I don't want to go because I'm real open for the counter punches.